Hi, in this video, I'm going to talk about which study if you want to become a quant. So, what are the topics that you need to know before you can apply for quant jobs in banks or in private funds, insurance companies, or even fintechs, right? So this is a broad list of topics I've come up with. It's very useful actually for if for someone who is interested or someone who is looking for an opportunity in the quant field. Okay, so if you want to become quant, I think one must thing to know is about the probability and statistics. So you really have to be strong in probability and statistics. If I've done some courses in your bachelor program or in your master's program, I think that's well and good. But if you really want to brush up your probability and statistics, I will highly recommend going through some courses on Khan Academy or doing some courses on Coursera. Actually, they're really good some probability and statistic courses. You need to focus on probability distribution, hypothesis testing, sampling, these topics. Okay. You don't have to study statistics a lot. Like, you don't have to be a master in statistics in order to work in quant. You really need only the applied statistics, right? In statistics, actually, you learn a lot of theory. Actually, that's much of that is not of much, not of use in quant finance. Whereas applications of statistics is very very important in the quant field, right? Probability is a very theoretical concept, but it is quite heavily used in many advanced theories in quant finance. So probability as such is not used, but it's you need to understand probability at a deeper level before you can sort of understand more more complicated, sophisticated topics. For example, pricing of derivative, those topics, right? You need to have good understanding of financial markets. It's not a quant topic per se, but without having proper understanding of financial products, different types of markets, primary market, secondary market, etc., market microstructure, the different jargons used in trading and lending, it will be difficult for you to work in the quant field. So only when if you have understanding of these non-quant related topics, you will then be able to relate the mathematical models to the applied world, right? Because quantitative finance is an applied field. It uses a lot of academic fields. It's for instance statistics, computer science, physics, mathematics, but it's an applied field, right? So unless you understand the actual products in the applied world, whether it's stocks or bonds or commodities, derivatives, you need to have some understanding of that. There are primarily two types of product: trading product and you have lending product. Okay, trading product will have the traded assets such as stocks and bonds and commodities and interest rates, derivatives, etc. Lending will be more about loan, right? So there are different kinds of loan: unsecured loan, secured loan. Then you have further categorization. Wholesale loan, retail loans. Even within wholesale and retail, you will have further categorizations. You need to have solid understanding of those concepts, right? As a beginner, people will not expect you to have thorough understanding, but if you really want to be successful as a quant, I think goes without saying that you need to have good understanding of the financial markets and the products and so on. A lot of people don't give much importance to the business side of things, but without knowing the business side of things, you'll never be very successful. If you're a beginner, actually, you will still be asked some basic questions about financial market. Even though you don't have a finance background, you still will be asked some of the questions, not at a great detail, but you need to have at least high level understanding of the financial products and the financial markets. Okay, another technical topic that you need to know is financial econometrics. It's a part of econometrics. Actually, econometrics is a topic which deals with the use of statistical modeling in the field of economics, and financial econometrics in particular is all about use of econometrics in the field of finance, right? It's quite heavily used in the field of finance, whether both in the trading area but also in the lending area. There are many academic models which are quite heavily used. Regression models are used. Whether it's linear regression, logistic regression, quantile regression, beta regression, negative binomial regression, Cox proportional hazard, those sort of models. So all kinds of these models are used. You also need to have good understanding of time series models, especially in trading area. Time series models are heavily used, right? Time series models are used for forecasting prices and returns of financial assets. So these models such as ARIMA, ARCH, GARCH, error correction model, these models are quite heavily used in the field of quantitative finance, especially if you want to work in the trading area or investment area. You'll also need to know something about panel data, which is not heavily used, but still good to have this understanding. You need to have understanding of survival analysis. So financial econometrics is a very important topic that you need to know. It's a course in itself, actually. If you do a master's in quantitative finance or financial engineering, one of the module will be financial econometrics, and you will be learning a lot of theoretical stuff. You will also be using those models in the with real world data, right? So quite important. This is also related to machine learning, but the way you build machine learning models is actually quite different from that in the financial econometrics. Although there are overlaps. The regression models are also part of machine learning, for example. Then another topic would be the financial math, right? Financial math is an academic discipline in itself, and there's it's a very heavy mathematical topic. So you really need to be really good in probability and statistics before you can start financial math, right? You need to have good understanding of calculus, for example, differential calculus, integral calculus. You need to have solid understanding of probability, right? Set theory, relation function, those concepts before you can do well in financial mathematics. Stochastic calculus is heavily used in the sell side quant area, right? Especially if you work in big banks, you will be working with derivative areas. Stochastic calculus is quite heavily used, and that's part of financial math. And that's something you need to know. Machine learning is becoming very popular nowadays with more advancement in and successes in other fields. Machine learning is now gaining popularity in the field of finance, not as much as it is popular in other fields such as in e-commerce or in other fields, but certainly it is gaining popularity. So you need to have good understanding of regression models. But when you build regression models in machine learning, actually the approach is a bit different compared to that in econometrics, right? You use cross validation, for example, in machine learning, something that you do not use in econometrics. Okay, and then you don't use sort of the p-value. You don't really care about the statistical significance of estimates. Those things are not part of machine learning. So there are subtle differences, but the reason why you build a machine learning model is also very different, right? You're more focused on the predictions rather than the finding the relationship between variables. And that's there are many ways you can do that, and you can use a lot of models, right? Compared to that in econometrics, you will have a lot more at your disposal. For example, the tree-based models, there are many types of tree-based model, whether it's decision tree, boosting, bagging, random forest. Within boosting and bagging, you have also adaptive boosting, gradient boosting, and so on and so forth. Right, and you also have support vector machine. And if you really want to go into the more neural network area, then you can also try deep learning. Reinforcement learning is gaining some popularity in the portfolio management area, also in investment area, trading area as well. So very, very important. If you really want to be a quant in 21st century, well, in 2024, 2025, you must learn machine learning. Actually, that was not the case actually 20 years back. If you had to study for quant jobs back then machine learning wasn't really popular. In fact, not at all popular. But nowadays you really need to know. machine learning. And if you know advanced machine learning like deep learning and reinforcement learning, that really a plus on your CV. Derivative pricing is a very important topic to be, you need to know before you want to you become a quant. You should have good understanding of how to price derivatives, right? It may not be needed actually if you really want to work in the lending area, right? If you want to work in more loan based product, then you don't need to know derivative pricing. But if you know, actually you'll have more flexibility. You can go to pricing, and those fields which are more lucrative actually. You can make more money in becoming a quant in pricing area, right, in derivative areas, compared to in more loan side. So yeah, you need to know Black-Scholes model, all kinds of theoretical models to price different kinds of derivatives. Beside also, you really need to know the fixed income security also, fixed income security, and yeah, those risk areas, right? Yeah, portfolio management, and how to sort of Greeks, for example, all these things you will also learn while learning derivative pricing. But these are used in more than just derivative pricing. um, you should have decent amount of understanding of the lending and trading. I've said this before, but it is very important that you have some understanding of credit analysis. You should know how to assess credit worthiness of a customer, especially a wholesale customer, looking at the financial ratios and so on and so forth. You can automate that through a model, but before you do that, can you do that yourself manually, right? That understanding will really help you to build good models. Similarly, trading is very important, right? You should have some understanding of how to trade. You must have traded yourself at least for some time, just to get a feel of how what are the things that really are important in trading before you can build models for those things, right? So getting that first hand experience, or more of front office experience, is very crucial. You may not have that experience. You probably will never get that if you work in the industry, because you can't work in both side. But if you have studied something, that really helps. Then risk modeling, right? Risk modeling is one area where most quants actually work. Okay. There are many areas of risk modeling, whether it's credit risk modeling, market risk modeling, operational risk modeling, asset liability management modeling, all these areas. So these are very domain specific areas actually. You will probably not get much of content about these areas on the public domain. Or the content that you will find may be very academic in nature. But you really need to have some understanding of these models, such as the PD, LGD, EAD models in credit risk, the market risk models, as a value at risk, expected shortfall type models, ALM models, and these are more regulatory models. So having understanding of these things on you, and if you put these names on the CV, actually really will impress the interviewer actually. So good to have understanding of that. um, Right. Beside that, yeah, if you really want to be a quant in a hedge fund or a private fund or family office, you need to have understanding of how to do quantitative trading, right? So, um, some of the models, for example, the SMA, EMA models, the mean reversion models, how to do pair trading. There's some simple quant trading models, but there are also some more academic type models, which you must have some understanding of that. Of course, the real world is very different actually. In the quant trading area, you will never be able to learn the real world problems through a course or through a book actually. But having basics, understanding of the basics, will go a long way, right? So these are some of the models that you should try learning. Then beside, you also need to learn some of the finance related topics, such as corporate finance, valuation techniques, behavioral finance. You should have understanding of macroeconomics. You should have understanding of risk management, or regulations related to risk management, whether it's credit risk management, market risk management, all of that. It's never easy to find all these topics in one area, but yes, if you really want to learn, you need to do a course, or you need to study some books. I do have a course, you can find the details here. If you want to reach out to me, let me know. I can provide the details. You will learn most of these topics in that course. Beside that, on the programming side, you need to have some experience with Python. Yeah, Python and one other language, right? Python is the most popular language nowadays in quant field, but SAS is also used in banks. R is also used in many places. C++ is used in the derivative side. MATLAB is also used now. It's been in use for many time, right? There are other languages such as C sharp and all. Even Java is used in quant development areas. You can't be a master in everything. Just pick one or two languages. I think that should be enough. All right. So if you really want, if you enjoy this video, if you want to know more about these topics, you really want to be a quant in the future, let me know if I can help you with anything. I do have a course with in all these topics. Let me know. You can contact me. You can find the contact details here. Actually, these are the contacts, but you can also find in the description section of this video. I have a very beginner friendly comprehensive course with all these topics covered, right? Suitable for someone who is a beginner. And yeah, it's quite comprehensive, so you will learn a lot of the stuff, very applied stuff, not just plain theory, but very applied stuff. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks.